Hi, my name is Katie, and I'm doing the PRO stands for child vaccinations. When making the decision of whether or not to vaccinate your child, wouldn't you want to be safe than sorry? Um, According to the CDC, from the beginning of January 1st to February 14th, there have been 127 cases of the measles spread across 10 states in the U.S. Outbreaks are growing across the nation, and vaccinating your child could prevent them and others from getting sick in the future. I have a child of my own, and personally, I feel as a responsible parent that I need to make a point to get him vaccinated, because ultimately the possibility of him getting ill due to me not taking the initiative to vaccinate him, it outweighs the rare side effects that people are so worried about. To this day, he's up to date on his shots, and he is yet to get sick. So, knock on wood. There are 3 points that I would like to go over. The first one would be the many cases in the U.S. of the measles that's usually due to non-vaccination, or people bringing it over here from out of the country, and then those kids that aren't vaccinated are getting it, or they're not up to date on their shots. And then I want to go over children. They're not able to go to school, public school, because of non-vaccinations. And then I want to kind of compare the vaccine side effects versus the measles symptoms. So, considering the most recent outbreak of the measles in Washington, I want to start with the number of measles cases in recent years according to the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. In 2000, measles was declared eliminated from the U.S. due to a highly effective vaccination program. And then the highest number since then was in 2014 at 667 cases. The year after that, in 2015, the number of measles cases went down to 188. So I assume that it's because of 2014, when there were so many cases, people got scared, and hey, the number went down because everybody was getting vaccinated. In 2018, so that was just last year, there's 372 cases. And then currently in 2019, from January 1st to 14th, like I said, there's 127 cases. That's a month and a half right there. Continuing at this rate, there could be 1,000 cases by the end of the year. And hopefully it doesn't get that far. But then according to Channel 12 News, as of February 6th, there's 7 cases of measles in Texas, and 5 of them are young children. Most of these recent cases were due to people carrying the disease and traveling into the U.S. and spreading them to people who are who are either not vaccinated or they're not up to date on their shots. Now that I've given you the numbers of measles cases in recent years, I'll add the point that most schools require the children to be up to date on their vaccinations, so to prevent an increase of the measles or other diseases. According to procon.org, all 50 states require DTaP, IPV, MMR, and the varicella vaccine for children to go to kindergarten in the public schooling system. According to Affordable Colleges Online, although there are certain exemptions in each state, every school has some sort of requirement of vaccinations, child or not. Most colleges, on campus or online, even though you're not physically at the school, you're taking online classes, the school still requires you to have a list of up-to-date vaccinations, including the meningococcal immunization before official admission. I understand there are loopholes, but how are we really preparing our children to be absolutely successful in the future if they're not able to even receive, a public education? They can't go to college because of it. Even if this is something as simple as keeping their shots up to date. That's just something to think about. Now that I've explained the vaccination requirement of some schools, or most all schools, I'll compare the common vaccine side effects and symptoms of contracting the measles. So, according to the CDC, the most common side effects of vaccinations include a sore arm or swelling of the injection site, a fever, redness or a rash at the injection site, and then possible swelling of glands, which that one was actually listed as not as common. Let's see. If these do occur, it's usually within 2 weeks, and then they go away pretty quickly, but most children don't even receive any type of side effects from the injection. Measles, if contracted, is a highly contagious disease caused by a virus that's spread through the air by breathing, coughing, or sneezing. And everybody's doing that. I mean, that could just be allergies. You could think it's just allergies, but it ends up being more. So, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, symptoms for the measles include fever, a runny nose, sore throat, dry cough, inflamed eyes or conjunctivitis, Koplik spots, which are spots on the inside of the mouth, usually have a bluish-white tint to the inside on top of a red background. And then a skin rash made up of large blotches that often flow within each other. And then these could lead to more complicated symptoms, which could list off as like an ear infection, bronchitis, laryngitis, croup, pneumonia, pregnancy problems, and encephalitis, which is an inflammation of the brain, which is pretty scary. According to the Mayo Clinic, because of all of these, or any of these complicated symptoms, measles could become fatal for anyone, especially children and infants. According to ASAP Science, from 2010 to 2016, an estimated 20.4 million people deaths worldwide have been prevented due to regular vaccinating. So today I've discussed the 3 main points: measles cases within the last 19 years, and then children they can't go to school really if they're not vaccinated or up to date on their shots. And then I went over the vaccine common side effects versus the measles symptoms. So outbreaks are spreading across the nation, and if we aren't proactive now, then we may be in a lot of trouble in the future. But by vaccinating our children, we can do our part by preventing disease and safeguarding them from getting sick in the future. It's not worth possibly losing a child or putting them through so much just because we feel like they don't need to be vaccinated. Because in the end, they really do. It's our responsibility as parents to keep them safe, and I feel like we aren't doing that if we're not vaccinating and ensuring, the best possible bright future for them. That's it. Thank you.